Hello everybody, I hope you're doing really well. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Katie and I'm 23 years old. I keep having to think about my age lately. It's bad. I literally had to ask my husband the other day, how old am I? Like, I completely forgot. Today I thought I would film my everyday makeup routine. This makeup look, regardless of the situation we find ourselves now, where I for one am staying at home and I'm working from home, or whether I'm going into the city and working there, this is the same makeup look that I go for. It just helps to have the same makeup for myself so that I'm like in the work mindset. And I don't know about you guys, but it really just helps to like wake me up, like especially concealer. I feel like when I've got that on, like I'm like, oh, I'm awake. A lot of these products I actually used on my wedding day, so I truly love them. A lot of them are actually dupes for higher end products, but I genuinely sometimes like them more, or it's just better that I have a cheaper alternative to wear on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, I hope you guys learn something from this video, maybe saves you a little bit of cash, or you just find it quite soothing to watch someone else do their makeup, because I definitely know that I do. So yeah, without chatting too much, because that's definitely something that I do, let's get into the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, so my beauty blender is damp, so that for me is a must. If my beauty blender isn't damp, I feel like the whole makeup look is just gonna be trash. I will then go and clip my hair back because no one likes foundation in their hair. It's not a good look, even if you're working from home. Just a quick tip as well, if you've like curled your hair and you're clipping it back, I like to clip it back but like curl it the way that I've curled it. So for me that would be away from my face, and then I clip it, and then that just helps to like hold the curl. Okay, now that I look funny, I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee and we're gonna get into it. The first thing I'm gonna use is primer. This is a good primer, but not necessarily if you're like me and you have really oily skin. To be honest, I just bought this, I fell for it. It was on sale and I'd heard good things about it, but I didn't consider, duh, Katie, you don't have dry skin, it probably isn't gonna work for you. But I do recommend the white version of this for people like myself who have maybe like bigger pores and have oily skin. That is meant to subdue your pores. So the foundation that I'm going to use is the Candid foundation by Revlon, and I'm in the shade 400, which is macadamia. Now, this foundation, whenever I wear it without fail, someone always asks me what foundation I'm wearing. Like, it's actually crazy, because I wouldn't say that I get asked that unless, you know, it was like my wedding day or something and I'm wearing like Estee Lauder Double Wear or something like super thick. But this foundation I wouldn't say is super thick. It's definitely not on the, you know, thinner side, but it's like a really nice in between, sort of like a satin finish, which makes it so that it works on a lot of skin types, and it's really good value for money. As you can see, I've almost run out of it. I'm like, I'm such a cheapskate though. I'm like waiting for it to go on sale at Coles or Woolies at the moment when I do my grocery shop. But until now, I will just keep scraping this and squeezing it. But yeah, let's do my foundation. I need to learn the art of doing my makeup and talking at the same time, because I feel like I keep stopping and starting, and it's just not going to be great when I go about editing this and then it works out to be 40 minutes long. So let's try and multitask, shall we? This is probably getting a bit dark for me in terms of the winter months. Being inside is going to mean that I am going to be snow white this year. A little bit more just to places on my face that need a little bit more. This foundation is so good and it lasts super well. I honestly can't rave about it enough. It's so good. Before I go in and beauty blend the heck out of my face, I like to conceal and like contour, and then I like to pat everything down. So this concealer is the best. It is, you've probably all heard of it, the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and although I'm definitely more on the more tan skin tone, I still go for the light because I really like it to just enhance and like wake me up. So I'm just gonna go put a little bit under, a little bit under my eyes and on my eyelid as like a base. I lied, I do beauty blend at this point and then I go back after and beauty blend again. Another one that I use if I want like a more intense like conceal is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, which I got when I was in Sydney. This one's super good, but for a day-to-day basis this one is really good, just as good, just not quite as thick. So I feel like it's at this point where I look like a little bit of an alien, that someone knocks on my door, tries to video call me. It's a moment, and yeah, it just happens far too often, and I feel like a lot of you probably can relate to that. Next thing is, what is this? What are you? The Maybelline Superstay Multi-Use Foundation Stick in the shade 360 Mocha. This didn't used to be available in Australia, so when I was like, because I did my own makeup for my wedding, which I may try and recreate that. My sister did my eyeshadow because I feel like that's where I'm not so good and like detailed, but I did like the rest of my face. I was like scouring the internet looking for a lot of videos about wedding day makeup, and a lot of people were actually using this in place of a lot of high-end makeup. And let me tell you, I'm all about that budget makeup when it can be done. Sometimes I understand like you do have to spend money to get what you pay for, but a lot of the time I feel like you can definitely find a cheaper alternative. This is actually meant to be a foundation stick, but I use it as a concealer. What am I saying? As a contour. And a lot of people think that like cream contour is like, oh, that's too much, you know, like that's just wow. That is like a Kim Kardashian look, and that's just too much for me. But I honestly feel like it gives a more natural look. It's better than using powder because it has a seamless look, and you can definitely blend it a bit more. I'm just going to use a brush to buff that into my skin. As a side note, all the brushes that I use are by the brand Jessup. And it's like, I just saw my face and I look so funny talking to you right now. And it's, yeah, basically this Asian brand that you can find online, and they do these brushes and they are so good. Like the only thing is when they arrive they sort of smell a bit like plasticky, very plasticky actually, but if you give them like a good old wash with some shampoo or like baby shampoo or something like that, then they lose that smell really quickly. And yeah, they are so good. It's actually such a nice day today, like it's really sunny but cool. I'm really looking forward to winter. Like I'm definitely a winter person, and I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, when I'm inside, like I just want it to be sunny, otherwise it's really gloomy and like I feel really blue. But I feel like I'm the opposite. I'm like, if I'm inside like and I'm having to resort to, you know, like the whole watching movies and staying inside, I want to feel really cozy, and I feel like rain and cold weather makes me feel so cozy. If it's sunny outside and like I can't go outside, go to the beach, like that's so depressing. I'm just going to beauty blend all of what I've just done into my skin, and this really helps to give a more natural finish. This video has made me realize that I am such a cheapskate. Like I'm always trying to get dupes and alternatives, and yeah. So my next dupe is the Savvy Perfect Finish Loose Powder, and this definitely isn't as good as the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, but I'd say it's a pretty good dupe. Like it does the job. So what I do with this, and it sort of gets a little bit messy, is I just get like a small this is called a petite stippling brush. To be honest, most of the brushes I don't actually, oh my gosh, I don't actually use for what they're meant for, but it works for me. So prepare yourself, this is gonna get intense. Powder everywhere. I'm just going to use this powder brush, but I sort of like to do that while I'm doing the bronzer so that it's a little bit more concentrated. So to be honest, I'm already quite orange because of that cream contour. Not orange, sorry, bronzed. So you may not see a real difference with this, which is fine, but it's important because it's setting what I've just done, because you don't want your face, especially with oily skin. You don't want it to just be an oil slick stuff sliding everywhere throughout the day. Setting is important, ladies. Now, if we're going to be real, I'm usually in a rush. Even if I'm working from home, I tend to just try and use the same products. I find that using a bronzer as eyeshadow tends to be better than when I use a lot of my eyeshadow, because it's really seamless and it just helps to pull your whole makeup look together. I'm really going in an order that's practical to whatever makeup I'm pulling out. I don't have to keep getting it out and putting it back all over again because your girl is lazy. I also just put it under my eye, just again to make it very cohesive. Depending on what mood I'm in that particular day will depend if I go in with a further like powder contour to really like intensify it. This, again, another dupe for, I think it's like the Laguna / Orgasm blush like duo that you can get by NARS. So yes, this is a dupe for the NARS duo that you can get. It's by e.l.f. and it's in the shade Fiji. As you can see, they're really trying to dupe it up. This is so good, and I feel like I definitely neglected the blush, being like, this is what I bought this for. But lately I've been using this blush and I'll show you, and it's an amazing color. I'm very impressed. I just start here and then I like work my way up and do that awkward like smiley face. So these are my two highlighters that I use like all the time. This one I use if I want a more intense look. I use this on my wedding day. It is the love of my life. Ofra highlighter in Rodeo Drive is what it is, and it's just, yeah, no complaints here. But today I wanted to go for a bit of a lighter look. To be honest, I can't believe I'm saying this, but highlighter is not my focus at this point in time of my face. I definitely feel like just getting a good complexion and more of like the bronze is definitely what I steer towards these days. Whereas if you told that to me last year, I would have lost it because highlighter was life. But yeah, now I just use it as like a simple little something something. Moving on to eyebrows, for years I have used this dip brow pomade in the shade Ebony by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I just mix it with like any sort of makeup spray, and then that helps to make it not so like hard to work with. You only need a little bit, because if this is too watery, like it's not a good time. Before I do that, I just get the Essence Clear Brow Gel and I just run that through. I have quite, not thin, but like they're not very, like there's not a lot of volume, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain it, but I think you guys can see my eyebrows and you can make your own assumptions. The next eyebrow product I use is by e.l.f. and it's the Dark Eyebrow Palette, and I never touch this like gel consistency one, but as you can see, I love the shadow. And because the Anastasia brow pomade is quite, because I add the spray to it, becomes a little bit more liquidy or a bit more cream-like, I like to set it the same way I set my face with a powder, which reminds me I never set the rest of my face. I need to go back and do that. Do not know why I forgot. Just gonna take a buffing brush. I like to do that because it's more compact. I know that it's getting into those oily places, and I'm using the Stay Matte Rimmel powder in translucent. This was like my best friend in high school. Probably been using it for honestly like a decade. It's a gem. Again, trying to make everything super cohesive and just easy in the morning so that I'm not grabbing a bunch of products. I just use the same powder that I used for my eyebrows, just in the outer corner of my eyelids, just to sort of smoke it up a little bit, but nothing too hectic. I either use this Violet Voss Berry Burst palette and I just reach for like the cream shade, or I'll grab my Better powder, which is the Bobbi Brown Warm Natural, and I just like to bring this back into like the inner bit of my lid. And yeah, I like to keep it very matte, as you can see. Now I'm just going to blend that all out. If I can be bothered, I will heat this up with like a hairdryer and then curl my lashes, which can be a bit risky if you heat this up too much. It just helps to hold the curl. I have very straight lashes. Like they're not super, I mean they're not the longest, but it's more the fact that they won't curl. So it's essentially like I don't have any lashes because you can't see them. But yeah, heating these up just helps, but I cannot be bothered most days. So to keep this video as accurate as possible, I will not heat them up. In an ideal world, I would like to have lash extensions, and I know a lot of girls right now are like really struggling with the fact they can't get their eyelash extensions, but for me personally, I feel like that's too much money to spend on something temporary. But yeah, that looks pretty good. I just like to set my face with any old setting spray. At the moment, I'm using the Australis Makeup Finishing Spritz with aloe vera and rose water. I feel like the spray is very hectic, like you'll see. It really wets your face, so yeah, I've got to go in with the beauty blender really quick and like tap it down so it doesn't just like slide everything off my face and defeat its whole purpose. And yeah, I like to curl my lashes before I do that because it gives them a bit of time to sort of calm down from the terror of being curled like that. This is my baby. I love this mascara so much. It is the Max Factor 2000 calorie waterproof mascara. It's honestly like the only mascara that will hold the curl. So yeah, so good. I love it. Most days I just use that, but if I really want to vamp up the lashes, I will just get any old non-waterproof mascara. In this instance, I have the Loreal Paris False Lash Wings Sculpt. This is a very good mascara, but yeah, I definitely couldn't use it alone. It's definitely to layer with my waterproof. Lashes are done. I just have like a little bit of fallout and stuff I want to fix up once it all dries, but in the meantime I'm going to do my lips. As you can see, I love this lip liner. It's usually when you get it like out here, and I think this is like my second or third that I've been through in a short amount of time. I literally use this every day. It's the Max Spice lip liner. I paired that with the Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade London by NYX. These were actually the pair that I used on my wedding day. I use them every day, and I thought, why switch it up if you know that it works and you know that it's good? Okay, so yeah, that's it. That is my finished everyday, whether I'm going to work, whether I'm staying at home. This is my everyday makeup look. Literally, I never do anything different. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. The next video that I should be doing is a clean with me for my wardrobe going from summer here in Australia to winter. So stay tuned for that. I'm very excited to have winter clothing to wear, even if it just means I'm wearing sweats at home. I'm very, very excited. I hope you guys are going well, that you're feeling joy, you're feeling peaceful in this time, regardless of the situation that you may find yourself in. I'll say goodbye here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave any comments that you have down below, and I really appreciated last week's comments when you guys said that you really enjoyed the video. It really meant a lot to me. Hope you guys have a really good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.